This is Greg McIntyre. Quick episode of Unleashed about the current status of education in Charlotte, perhaps in America. I went to a public school. I feel like I got a great education. And a lot of the education was dependent on me and my engagement, as well as what I did at home, reading, my interest, computer programming, math, things that I was interested in. Sports were great too. I have 6 children. 2 of them, one of them's graduated college, one of them's in college. And we have 4 others that are still coming along. We had a daughter recently who was caught with a vape, okay, at school. It fell out of her pocket when she walked out of the bathroom. She's extremely apologetic about it. I think her mom's heart was broken. I was like, not student. Loved at school, but from school because of that incident. As a father, I felt powerless. I had a call from the school that I couldn't get at the time. They called and talked to my wife, let her know, but they went ahead with the suspension. I had absolutely no input on it at all. I could appeal the suspension, but the appeal didn't stop the suspension, so what's the point? And there was, on the suspension, it was listed that it was under the rules for tobacco, drugs, and firearms, right? And I just know that children, when they come up, they're growing, human beings are going to experiment. They're going to push limits. But that's not built into the system. I felt like, man, is it really that it wasn't reasonable? That there was no reason involved? That it's a knee-jerk, just cookie-cutter reaction? And, Steph was talking to me about a cheerleading squad she knows where half the team was suspended because of something similar or kicked off the team. And these were girls who really needed that in their life. I just don't understand that. I don't know that the school system is built out of a love for children. For example, all A's, top marks in school. I don't know that the best signal to her or the best thing for her is to take her out of school where she's really doing great and enjoying it. It's like there's no room for error now or mistakes. Nobody could smoke in the boys' room or, it's like the people who are raising the children now forgot that they were human beings that grew up too. And it just feels like there's no humanity in the system, no love, no reasonableness. And I'm going to tell you, as a father, I feel extremely powerless in the school system. As long as, I can go to the school. They don't really care who I am. They don't ask me my advice for things. It feels like they are half raising my kids. I don't like that either. So I don't know what the right answer is, but for one of our children, finding alternative education where it's one-on-one study. And we are investing in private school. She needs that because public school has not turned out to be a good fit for her. And they don't really care. There's no alternatives. There's no, we'll develop a plan or we'll help. None of that. And this is going on 1.5 years now. And has a part to play in that as well. But the system doesn't care about it. The system doesn't care about It's just this happened. Your kid violated our policies, and we're going to do this over here. Not that in a loving child and a great top-notch student that we care about. I have a real problem with the education system in Charlotte, as well as probably other school systems that our children have been in the past as well. I think we've lost our way. And if we've lost our way in raising our kids, our country's in serious decline, in serious trouble, because that's who are going to be our next adults. And hopefully they'll do better than we did in building systems and education systems that does not care. We've lost the caring. We've lost the compassion. We've forgotten that children are special and that they're going to grow and experiment and do things that we might not want them to do because we don't want them to do it. And we've forgotten how human we were in growing up too. So, I don't know what the answer is, aside from more understanding, more caring, more love. I sat down with and, what do you want to do? She was very upset how about she was upset, disappointed in herself. She knew that I wouldn't like what happened. But she had come in to work and worked and done a great job at our office during her suspension. And I said, do you want to go back to that school? She said, I do. I have friends there. I'm doing really well there. I've already turned in all my grades for the semester, and I'm emailing my teachers, making sure I made up my work. I said, okay, great. That's phenomenal. I finally did talk to the assistant principal that levied the suspension on, and I didn't feel any understanding coming from him. I haven't felt any understanding, compassion, or care. And maybe teachers and administrators are just overwhelmed. I don't know. But we can do better. I want to do better. And I'm going to continue to raise imperfect humans and put bumpers on them and let them find their way in the world that hopefully will be a really high level experience where they will have compassion. More compassion than is being shown to them by a system that should have compassion, okay, and understanding. So anyway, those are my thoughts. We need change, a more compassionate system. I don't know how we continue on with our education system the way it is. I think it's fundamentally broken at the core. And I don't know the right answers other than it starts with love of humanity and children and compassion and a commitment to not be jaded and not just move people along like an assembly line to get people out of your school, to actually teach the children. I mean, beyond that, we as a country are screwed because there are countries out there that are educating their kids. We are not on a mass scale. I'm sure there are high-level private institutions that are turning out really quality educated young men and women. But it's not just about all the clubs you're in. It's not just about your marks in school. It's about the people we're building. It's about the compassion we show them. It's about giving them the room to experiment and make mistakes in a safe environment. So anyway, I wanted to give my 2 cents and talk about the school system, how a father feels raising kids. It feels pretty powerless sometimes. But then all my power is restored when I go talk to my children directly and have that relationship with them. The school nor anyone else can take that away from me or from their mother, Steph, because we have a great relationship with our kids most of the time. Most of the time, not all the time. But I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from you in the comments. What is your experience in raising children? And too many people are out there trying to do it perfectly. It's impossible. And there's too rigid of a system out there that doesn't care about the kids. Those are my thoughts. And fathers are getting lost in the education system. Little boys are getting lost in the education system. My girls are getting lost in the education system sometimes. And I just think we can do better. Anyway, until the next Unleashed.